I remember standing in front of a Roman aqueduct and looking at it going, well, how did this technology get lost?
Yeah, I've had the same reaction, exactly.
I mean, people were standing there staring at it for thousands of years, and it wasn't that the technology really got lost. It was the security from end to end that got lost.
I mean,
right? And so, once you lost...
Maintenance got lost.
Well, I think it was more the... I mean, you bring this up about the security part, is if you have a water source and the system, if anybody can just dam it, or poison it, or do something bad to it, or some of it falls into disrepair and no one's there to maintain it. It was really the civilization that made that world safe enough that water could travel safely from one end of that aqueduct to the other. It wasn't, people were standing there staring at it for thousands of years, they knew how it worked.
That's an extremely good point. However, I would just put a small counterexample to it. When Charlemagne unites a large chunk of what today we would consider France, Germany, and Italy, and tries to construct a beautiful mausoleum for both his ancestors and himself using Roman architecture, looking at the same beautiful buildings that are still around, it's miserable. It completely fails. So it might take a while to reinvent it, but I strongly agree with the idea that the physical security that allows you to use such a technology is vital for having there be a niche where an architect might exist or a water engineer might exist. So I think it is prior to that knowledge. So that's where I would agree and disagree with the point.
I think sometimes it's a question of funding. So the library at Alexandria that was either burnt by Christians or Muslims or whichever theory you go by, it seems that the destruction was much more a lack of funding over generations. And then the library was not maintained, it essentially ceased to exist as a center of intellectual life in Alexandria.
As a living institution.
Well, look, we had a similar situation with the space program. You know, we've already lost knowledge as we've cut funding for various things. We know less about how to build big rockets today than we did 40 years ago.
The example my father gave is the 16-inch guns that were used on battleships. Nobody could produce that in this country now. Whether we need to is a different story. The point is the technology no longer exists. Not feasible.
Does this mean that knowledge is at the effect of entropy on some level? Does entropy affect knowledge?
It straightforwardly seems yes.
Yes, it does everything. Yeah.
Does that mean that we're just...
But civilization is anti-entropic. I mean, that is what civilization is in many ways. It is a measure of anti-entropy. It's higher levels of organization that persist.